learning outcomes of the lesson. At the end of the lesson, the student is able to determine whether an equation is an identity or a conditional equation, and apply the trigonometric identities to find another trigonometric values. So, ang ating outline ngayon ay about the domain of an equation, identity and conditional equation, and fundamental trigonometric identities. Let's start with the finding the domain of an equation or expression presented by the following. So we have the following expression, the 3x minus 2, comma, the square root of x squared minus 1, comma, x divided by the polynomial of x squared minus 5x plus 4, comma, and x divided by with the square root of x minus 1. The question for the following expressions, what are the real values of the variable x that make the expressions defined in the set of real numbers? So, isa-isahin natin meron kasi tayong 4 na expression dito. So, isa-isahin natin kung ano yung tinatawag nating the real values of the variable x. Okay, let's start with the first expression. So, ang first expression natin is the 3x minus 2. By observing the given expression, every real value of x when substituted to the expression makes it defined in the set of real numbers. That is, the value of the expression is real when x is real. Diba? Kapag naglagay lang naman tayo ng value ng x, which is the set of real numbers, for sure, magiging result lang nitong expression na ito also real. So, yun yung ating explanation sa 3x minus 2, doon sa ating first expression. Next is doon naman sa second expression, yung square root of x squared minus 1. So in the second expression, the square root of x squared minus 1, not every real value of x makes the expression defined in real number, in the set of real numbers. Dito naman sa case natin ng second expression, hindi lahat pwede. Hindi lahat ng real numbers ay pwedeng maging substituted to x so that the result is also defined in the set of real. For example, if we have the value of x as 0, so kapag sinubstitute natin yon, so ang mangyayari ngayon, ang magiging result ay -1, yung radicand. So we have the square root of -1. And the square root of -1 is not a real number. Square root of -1 is not a real number. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang na hindi pwedeng lahat ng real number ay applicable dito sa second expression. That's why the square root of x squared minus 1, which is an element of real number, is also true if and only if the value of x squared minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. That's why the value of x must be less than or equal to -1, or x must be greater than or equal to 1. So, yun lang ang mga pwedeng set of numbers. We can substitute to x so that the second expression defined in the set of real numbers. Okay? Hence, for x squared minus 1 to be defined in real number, x must be in the set of -1 or negative infinity, comma -1, close to -1, union with close to 1 up to positive infinity. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi na pwede yung mga number na, yung mga number na less than or, -1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. O hindi pwede yung mga number na yan. Kasi magiging undefined yung ating expression. Next, for the third expression, so we have the x divided by the x squared minus 5x plus 4. The values of x that make the denominator 0 make the entire expression undefined. Di ba? Kapag naka-rational expression naman yung ating given expression, so iiwasan natin na yung denominator ay maging 0. So therefore, the denominator must not be 0. Kasi pag nag-0 yung ating denominator, so the whole expression, entire expression undefined, goes to undefined. Kaya, iiwasan yung 0. So, for that, may mga real numbers na applicable, but not all. So, we have x squared minus 5x plus 4 equal to, so pag kinuha natin yung factors nitong expression na to, we have x minus 4 and x minus 1 equal to 0, meaning to say, the value of x is 4 and the value of x is 1. Kapag sinubstitute natin yung x na 4, magiging 0 yung ating expression. At kapag sinubstitute natin yung 1 doon sa ating expression, magiging 0 pa rin. Hence, the expression of x over x squared minus 5x plus 4 is real when x is 4 at 1. Kasi magiging 0 doon ang denominator. Okay, next for the last expression. In the fourth expression, x over square root of x minus 1, because the expression of square root of x minus 1, which is in the denominator, x must be greater than or equal to 1. Why? Kasi di ba kapag sinubstitute natin yung 1 and greater, ang magiging result ng ating denominator is 0 and greater. Okay, although the value of the entire expression is 0, pwede ring maging 0 ang entire expression kapag ginawa nating x is 0. Diba? Kapag ginawa natin ang x mo ay 0, magiging 0 ang entire expression. Kasi yung numerator, x equals 0, 0 divided by n number is 0. Kaya lang, merong restriction. Hindi naman siya pwede sa denominator kasi pag ginawa natin 0 ang denominator, magiging not real yung denominator niya. When x is 0, we do not include 0 as allowed value of x because part of the expression is not real when x is 0. Yun yung denominator, di ba? Kapag ginawa mo 0 yung x, yung denominator ay magiging not real. So, hindi rin pwede ang x is 0. So, ano ngayon ang pwedeng maging value of x natin to make the expression real? So, ang pwede lang ay greater than or equal to 1. The set of real numbers such that x must be greater than or equal to 1. Okay? So, yung mga ginawa natin na kinuha natin yung value of x, the set of value of x, ang tawag natin doon ay domain. So, the domain of an expression or equation is the set of all real values of the variable which every term or part of the expression or equation is defined in real number. Okay? Sa inyong ating tinatawag na domain. So, dun sa ating for expression, ang pwede nating maging domain ay ang mga sumusunod. So, the domain of expression or equation is the set of real values of the following, which every term or part of the expression equation is defined in real. So, we have sa first expression, yon ay defined in real number. Then, yung second expression natin, the set of negative infinity, comma negative 1, close union to close 1 up to positive infinity. At yung third expression natin, that is set of real numbers such that the value of x must not equal to 1 or equal to 4. And the last, yung interval natin for last expression, that is 1 up to positive infinity. Okay, let's say ito. Determine the domain of the expression tangent theta minus sine theta minus cosine 2 theta. So, ang solution natin dyan. Okay, so tangent theta minus sine theta minus cosine 2 theta, pwede natin kuhanin yung identity ng tangent theta. Identity ng tangent theta, it is also the same with sine theta over cosine theta. Okay, identity yan ng tangent theta. Then, nandun pa rin yung ating minus sine theta minus cosine 2 theta. So, dito sa ating new expression, mapapansin mo, meron tayong in a form of rational. Itong portion ng sine theta over cosine theta. So, dito sa part na to, magkakaroon ngayon ng restriction. Ang magiging restricted portion ay yung denominator. Ang guidelines kasi natin kapag rational expression, the denominator is not zero. Kasi pag nag-zero yung denominator, magiging undefined yung ating expression. Okay? Ibig sabihin, titingnan natin ngayon ang cosine theta. We are going to solve it for not giving the value of cosine theta as 0. So cosine theta equals to 0 when the value of theta is k pi over 2, where k is odd integers. Let's say magbigay tayo ng k na odd integers. So kapag kinuha natin ng k odd integers, let's say 1. What 1 is an odd integer. Sinabstitute natin doon. So ang magiging theta mo ngayon ay magiging pi or 1 pi over 2. So, di ba kapag kinuha natin ang cosine pi over 2, kasi 1 pi over 2 is also pi over 2. So, ang cosine pi over 2, and that is equal to 0, di ba? So, ang mga cosine theta natin ay magiging 0 sa mga number na or sa mga theta na pi over 2, lahat ng k odd integers. Susunod nun ay K3. Diba? K3. So, ganun din siya magiging 3 pi over 2. So, sa 3 pi over 2, 0 pa rin ang ating cosine theta. Susundan ng 5. So, pag ginawa mong 5 yon, magiging 5 pi theta. And so on. 5 pi halves theta. And so on. Yan. So, doon magiging 0 ang ating cosine theta. Therefore, iiwasan yung mga value na yun. Okay? Iiwasan natin yung mga theta na k pi over 2 where k is odd integers. So ngayon, ano ang magiging domain natin dito? Kasi ang hinihingi ay ang domain. So the domain is cosine theta equals to 0 where theta is an element of real number such that the value of theta must not be equal to k pi over 2 where k is an odd integer. Okay? Ibig sabihin, any theta k pi over 2 for even. Pag ginawa mong even integers yun, okay, pwede yan. Or any k except add integer for k. Pwede niya maging domain. Next in line, we have the identity and conditional equation given. So consider the following two groups of equation. We have the group A and the given expression or equation are the following. For A1, we have x squared minus 4 equals 0. A2, quantity of x plus 6 squared and x squared plus 36. And the A3, we have the ratio of x squared minus 9 over x minus 3 equal to 3x minus 1. For the group B, we have the B1 x squared minus 4 equals quantity x minus 2 times x plus 2. While on the B2 is squaring the x plus 6, which is x squared plus 12x plus 36. And for the B3, that is x squared minus 9 over x minus 3 equals x plus 3. So, tingnan natin yung pagkakaiba ng two groups base doon sa ating information given. In each equation in group A, some values of the variable that are in the domain of equation do not satisfy the given equation. That is, do not make the equation true. Pwede mangyari yan, no? So, mayroong mga value doon sa group A natin na kapag sinubstitute natin for x, pwedeng maging false or true yung statement. So, depende doon sa variable x. On the other hand, doon naman sa group B, every element in the domain of equation satisfy the given equation. Diba? Doon naman sa group B, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng domain X, sinubstitute natin, left and right equation magiging satisfy or magiging true yung ating statement for every domain X, no? Meaning to say, the equation in group A are called conditional equations. Yung nasa lahat ng nasa group A, tinatawag sila mga conditional equations. While yung nasa group B naman ay mga tinatawag na identities or identity equation. Kaya tingnan natin yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. No? By definition, the identity of an equation and the conditional equation. An identity is an equation that is true for all values of the variable in the domain of the equation. Ibig sabihin, kahit anong variable x na gamitin mo or yung domain x na gamitin mo, magiging true pa rin yung left and right natin for all domain x. So kapag ganun yung type na equation, tinatawag siya na identity. An equation that is not an identity is called conditional. In other words, if some values of the variable in the domain of the x equation do not satisfy the equation, then the equation is conditional. Ito naman, on the other hand, kapag nagbigay ka ng variable or the domain x na not satisfied for left and right, equation, left and right side of the equation, ibig sabihin, yung equation na yun ang tinatawag na conditional equation. Okay? Ayun yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa, identity and conditional equation. Okay, dito natin example 2, meron tayong mga given equations. Ang gagawin natin, we are going to identify if it is identity or conditional equation. Okay, so meron tayong 4. Sasayin natin yan. For letter A, this is an identity. Itong letter A natin, identity yan. Okay, pag titignan mo kasi, di ba ang given natin ay x cubed minus 2, yung nasa left side of the equation. Doon sa right side of the equation, mapapansin mo, ano lang siya, ito ay tinatawag na factoring of difference of 2 cubes. Di ba? Pag kinuha mo ang factors nitong x cubed minus 2, yung nasa right side ang kanyang magiging factors. We have x minus cube root of 2 and quantity of x squared plus cube root of 2x plus cube root of 4. So, ginamitan lang yan ng factoring of difference of 2 cubes. Therefore, it is identity. Next naman yung letter B. Sa letter B naman natin, ang nakalagay doon ay sin squared theta equals cosine squared theta plus 1. So, ito naman ay tinatawag nating conditional equation. So, ito ay sample ng conditional equation. Why? Ito yung ating explanation. If theta is 0, then the left-hand side of the equation is 0. Diba? Pag ginawa mong 0 yung theta natin, so yung left-hand side, yung sin square theta ay magiging 0. Pero yung right-hand side naman ay magiging 2. Kasi ang cosine squared 0, cosine squared 0 ay 1 plus 1. So magiging 2. And 0 is not equal to 2. Diba? Magiging magkaiba yung kanilang condition. So magiging unequal. So that's why tinatawag natin na conditional yung equation na to. Kasi hindi lahat ng value ng theta natin ay applicable doon sa ating equality. So that is conditional. For letter C, we have sin theta is equals to cosine theta minus 1. Ganon din. Isa rin siyang conditional equation. No? Conditional din siya kasi merong value ang theta na magiging unequal yung ating left-hand side. Ganon din ang right-hand side. Let's say, kapag 0 ang ating theta, so ang sin 0 ay 0. At ang cosine 0 naman ay 1. Minus 1, also 0. So therefore, sa 0 theta, magiging equal yung ating equation. Next, ang letter D naman natin. Ito yung ating given expression. Ang letter D natin ay magiging identity. So letter D is an identity. Because the right-hand side of the equation is obtained by rationalizing the denominator of the left-hand side. Mapapansin mo kasi sa ating right-hand side, ito yung right-hand. Yan ay result lang ng if we are going to rationalize the left hand. Ito, pag ni-rationalize mo yan, ito ang magiging result. So therefore, for all domain X, this expression defined in any variable or in any domain X, magiging true statement lang siya. Okay?